Hey guys, so before we get to the episode, there's some technical difficulties in the first half that basically produce an echo. We fixed that for the second half, so just ignore it for the first half.
Yeah, we didn't re-record it because it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so just push through it, be a trooper like Iron Maiden, all right?
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Awesome Sunday Show. Your two regular hosts are back this week as usual. My name is Connor.
And I'm Rick Pat.
Rick Pat McNellis. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at Less Than Connor.
I'm at Rick Pat MC or MCN. I always forget.
Well, follow me first, and then you can follow Pat. But
I mean, if you want to be like
yeah. But yeah, follow us on Twitter to get any updates or anything like that.
Rick Pat MC. I just looked.
All right. As you know, every week we are a conversational podcast. We talk about comic books mainly. We also talk about movies, video games, other stuff, usually within our culture that we tend to enjoy. So right now we're actually on a string of doing reviews and overviews of the Flash season 1. And today we're going to be talking about episodes 10 and 11. Episode 10 is Revenge of the Rogues. Episode 11 is The Sound and the Fury. So, Pat, where we picked off after episode 9. Episode 10, who comes back?
Mr. Captain Cold.
Captain Cold. Captain effing Cold. Comes back.
Wonderfully played by Wentworth Miller.
Yeah, it was really good. Whatchamacallit? So he actually has he has some help in this episode.
Yes, he does. Heatwave.
Yeah, Heatwave.
Who is played by Dominic Purcell.
Which is kind of a little weird in a good way because, I mean, I thought I was watching a Prison Break episode.
Yeah. That's exactly right. They both played brothers on Prison Break, and now they're, teammates, basically, partners, which is fine because there's a lot of Prison Break actors on Arrow and Flash.
Mm-hmm.
There's I guess they must have had the same producers from Prison Break and Spartacus because there's a lot of Spartacus actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Like the guy, Weather Wizard number 2, was on Spartacus, was actually one of the main characters, and the guy who played Deathstroke, Manu Bennett, had a big role in Spartacus. Mm-hmm. I don't think they showed him yet, but the Clock King, he's from Prison Break, and there's just like a lot. But it's funniest that they put those two together as like partners.
Yeah, I guess it just has to work somewhat because like they worked together for so long on a show. Like what was it, 4 or 5 years?
They already have chemistry.
Yeah, so it's like why break that up?
Yeah, it was a great casting decision.
Yeah, Heatwave looks awesome, but
he does, dude. And I really liked how he's portrayed because he's portrayed like so like just like unstable.
Yeah, very.
Which is just I like it a lot because it's a good balance between Captain Cold, who's very calm, collective, and then Heatwave is a little rash and like always like in a rush to fucking set something on fire.
Well, yeah, nothing spreads faster than fire. So
exactly.
Like Heatwave's ready just like cause anarchy, where Captain Cold is more calm, cool, and collective.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it kind of what they use is kind of goes along with their personality. But I love this episode. It was so much. It wasn't as crazy or as it wasn't or like advancing to the plot as episode 9 when you see Reverse Flash, but
right.
It was cool. It was cool just to see classic villains like done in like a really cool way. As
yeah, definitely, and it was a good episode to pick up after such a huge episode.
Yeah.
Though. And again, it's another important episode because this is the first Rogues episode. Like we already had the Captain Cold, the leader of the Rogues, and that split glimpse at the end of that episode when he presents Heatwave with the gun. But this is actually the first instance of some rogues working together.
Right.
Which was awesome to see, and Captain Cold and Heatwave together is awesome. And then Wentworth Miller's, I just really like as Captain Cold. I think he does a great job.
Yeah, that was a great casting
and
choice.
Dominic Purcell is he could pull off that like pyro psychopath pretty well.
Wasn't he also the villain in Blade trilogy or Blade Trinity?
I think
he was Dracula
in one of them.
Yeah, he was Dracula. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he was Dracula in Blade Trinity, which was the worst Blade movie.
Oh, that movie was
That
terrible.
movie was awful, especially after Blade 1 and 2, which were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a series I want Kevin Feige to bring back against the MCU.
Well, apparently Wesley Snipes had some meetings with Feige and a couple other heads of the MCU.
Really?
But you know what? Fuck Wesley Snipes because he's a douchebag, and he's the reason that 3 was so bad. It's because he just got stoned on set all day, and like scenes that it was him and a couple other characters, like the scene where Ryan Reynolds is driving.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes wasn't there. Ryan was talking to himself the entire time, so he was just like riffing nonstop. And like Wesley Snipes was just terrible to work with.
I'm sure he's better now, though.
Like except
I'm sure
after he
some
went-
jail time kind of set him
Yeah.
straight.
But yeah, he's the reason Blade Trinity sucked balls. So fuck him.
I wouldn't say he's the only reason.
I'm sure he probably had
There
a
was some
lot to do with
bad
this.
writing, like
I'm sure he was involved, like made some decisions and use his star power to make retarded decisions while he was.
yeah.
stoned.
Oh well, actors can kill a movie. That's what happened to The Island of Dr. Moreau. Great documentary about that, the making of that movie. You should watch it one time. Okay, so going back to episode 10, Revenge of the Rogues. So I thought the action in this show was actually so far, like, even though episode 9 had great action and it was like there was it was definitely a better episode, but I just thought the action in this episode I liked a little more. It was cool seeing like fire and ice work together, and then like the way they have to take Barry has to take them down was just like a really
definitely.
well done.
And you know what? It's the fighting's probably better than what was in episode 9, but it doesn't have the same implications of episode 9, which is what I think made the fights in episode 9 so great.
Yeah.
Was the implications of it.
Whereas like there wasn't as much at stake in
Right.
there was, but it just wasn't
Still,
as
yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't as like a massive occurrence.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really well done, without a doubt. And like the banter between them was really fun. And then, what was the funniest part? I was just thinking. Oh, when they have to, in order for Barry to beat Captain Cold and Heatwave at the same time, he has to make them cross streams, like going full Ghostbusters
Yeah.
on it. Like, I thought that was pretty funny.
I was like, I like that was funny, like how they had to do that, but also too it made me think of like, and it has nothing to do with it, but it just made me think of that part in Step Brothers where they're crossing swords.
Yeah.
Because they were
Yeah.
brothers in Prison Break, and like they're like on the show together, and then they got to cross streams. I just thought of like Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. That's a good part. It's a good point. Yeah, and then even at the end of the episode, we got another rogue with not yet named, but Golden Glider,
Oh,
Leonard Snart's sister.
at the end.
Yeah, at the end, she breaks them, stops them from getting.
What was cool about that too was
Transported
like
to prison.
Heatwave was like, of course I listened to you. Now we're locked up in a prison, blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. Like I'm sporadic and everything. And then Captain Cold still is like calm, cool, collective. It's like, oh, this like, and it's like, what's going on? It's like the plan,
Yeah. He's got everything planned out so well. He's like the Batman of villains,
Yeah.
at least in this universe.
In this universe, he is.
Which is fine.
Captain Cold in the comics is sometimes he's not. And that's fine. Like I don't mind them changing like a lot of things, but Captain Cold from what I see in the comics, especially the New 52, is he's not. He doesn't play. He plans like he. Villains have always been good at planning, but he's not like he's never gone as far as like this. From what I remember, I've not read every Flash comic,
Yeah.
but But hey, if you do know of a story, tell me in the comments, and I would like to read it.
Yeah, exactly. We're always open to suggestions like that.
Yeah, but like I just don't remember. I don't remember him personally being like this, like into a plan. It's like no, like all right, I had this planned out.
He's portrayed and written much more intelligent in
A
this.
little more sinister too,
Little.
because
I don't
he's
know.
willing to kill people in the show, right?
Yeah,
Because in the
but
comics he
also-
doesn't like in some adaptations he doesn't kill people.
Well, he doesn't set out to kill people,
Yeah,
but he uses it against Barry when needed.
right. Like he doesn't like he does if he doesn't have to kill anybody he won't.
Yeah, exactly. Like he plans so that he doesn't have to.
Yeah,
And when your plan backfires, then you gotta do what you gotta do. So then he does kill people if it's especially using it against the Flash. He uses it to his advantage by distracting him by threatening innocent civilians, knowing that the Flash will take
Yeah.
his eyes off him. But yeah, I mean he's not. Whereas Heatwave just wants to set everyone and everything on fire.
yeah.
But one of them has to have the level head. Another big thing in this episode is Caitlin starts to investigate what caused Ronnie to become the yet-to-be-named Firestorm and what happened to him at the particle accelerator and how he wasn't straight-up vaporized, which will get set up and come together over the next couple episodes. But it got me really excited because I think Firestorm's great.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's kind of like a complex character too because there's a couple different components to the Firestorm and the Firestorm Matrix. Like there's Dr. Stein, and then there's Ronnie Raymond as Firestorm, or there's Dr. Stein and Jason Rush, or Jason Rush, Ronnie Raymond. Like there's multiple components to the Firestorm Matrix. And it's like they literally just merge bodies and minds and have to try to make it work out,
Right.
but they need certain technology for them to be able to control it the right way.
And wait, now I haven't been that far in the series, but have they explained that in the series?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, they do it in episode 13. They
So that's next.
start getting more into it.
All right, good.
At the end of episode 12, but then episode 13 is all about that,
Okay. All right, that's good.
which is a good episode. And there's a lot of Easter eggs in it too.
I love Easter eggs. I feel like I didn't know this when I was a kid. I got presents on Easter, like not like a lot. Like I would get I remember like there was like 4 years in a row I got a Super Soaker.
Nice.
But like no kids, kids like didn't get presents. It was just candy. Did you get presents?
I would get candy, but I'd also probably get like a movie or video game.
Yeah, that.
And like a shirt or something. Like not like several things, just like two small things.
Yeah, I would get that's the thing. I would get like two things, like a Super Soaker and like a DVD or something. But back
Yeah,
to
it's
Easter eggs.
usually what it
That's
was.
not the Easter egg I'm talking about. It just reminded me of that. Yeah, lots of Easter. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this show in general.
There really
Like,
is
it,
like a lot. It's hard to keep
yeah.
up with sometimes. Like I won't even notice it right away, but like go after the episode's going on Reddit or just like rewatching them, you pick up on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that they're able to cram in like just as much as every MCU movie per episode, basically. Which is saying something like Josh. Some episodes have like Josh Whedon levels of Easter and James Gunn levels of Easter eggs. Like those each of like the Avengers.
The first episode had the biggest
Yeah.
Easter egg ever.
Oh my god, it had so many.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just it just like doesn't stop. But it's awesome. And it's cool. I love Easter eggs. I love finding them. And did you hear James Gunn said that somebody still hasn't found the biggest Easter egg in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, I saw that article.
Gotta figure that out. Maybe they'll
Yeah.
invite me to film the second one.
That'd be awesome. Now people are like watching that movie every day to see if they can find something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
But so overall, what did you like? How did you feel? Like how much like the whole season? Is this one of your favorite episodes, or is it just like another great episode?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's not the best Rogues episode. Because once Golden Glider gets involved more, that episode I like more. But it was good because it's like the first entirety of the Rogue, so that's why I think it's one of my favorite ones because we first see the formation of the Rogue.
Yeah, somewhat.
And I really like the dynamic between like the two actors who play Heatwave and Captain Cold, and then how Barry, like the banter between Barry and Captain Cold as well. But yeah, I did like the episode a lot. I mean, yeah,
Good.
I guess.
All right. So we're gonna take a short break, and after this break, we're gonna go back into episode 11, which is appropriately titled "The Sound and the Fury." Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, again, apologies for the audio quality of the first half of the episode.
Yeah, something done goofed.
Yeah, something done goof, but we fixed it for this half. So, thanks for bearing with us. So, we're going to talk about episode 11 of The Flash, the series on the CW network. It is called the Sound and the Fury.
Like Dragonstorm. Well, the Fury of the Storm, but Dragon Force.
Dragon Force.
Dragon
I was about to say Dragon Storm. I was like, is that
Yeah.
a band in here? No, Dragon Force. Yeah, and this Through the Fire and the Flames, greatest song ever written. I'm kidding. So the Sound and the Fury, really really cool episode. You kind of get more into Dr. Wells's past.
life, yeah.
Like what he does, and like even like he puts on this persona of like being a good intentioned scientist, but then like you start to find out that even with the particle accelerator, he kind of wasn't just a dickhole.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
You basically find out in this episode that Wells knew the particle accelerator could explode
Yeah.
and just wanted it to happen anyway. It's
Well-
like, oh, nothing will happen.
Yeah.
But it was pretty damn intentional.
Yeah. He makes the characters believe that he was willing to take the chance in order to make the world a better place. But we all know that he just did it just to do it. He he wanted the particle accelerator to explode.
There was a reason he did it, and it was part of his overarching plan, which will be come together piece by piece as the season goes on. But it was a part of his plan, without a doubt. And the villain in this episode is Pied Piper, aka Harley Rathaway, which they changed his backstory a lot compared to the comics, because in the comics,
I'm not familiar with him in the comics as much.
Well, he kind of does the same sort of thing. He messes with sound and sonic vibrations, everything, except in the comics, he's married to Captain Singh, the police captain in the show.
Right.
But that's not the case in this, because he's much younger, and Captain Singh is already married at this point in the show, or is engaged to a guy, which was funny.
Yeah, he's gay in the show.
Yeah, well, he's also gay in the comics.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it was funny the way they
Not
did
in the earlier comics.
No, not in the
They
early
changed
ones.
that. Yeah.
I think it's like New 52.
Okay.
becomes
Yeah.
gay. But it's like when they like announced that he was getting the show, it was like kind of just like a little side thing. He goes, "Yeah, me and my fiance," and then that was
says
the
boyfriend.
only mention, or boyfriend or whatever. But they were just like so nonchalant about it, and it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's like, dude's gay.
Yeah, whatever. Still the captain of the police force. And we get to see Wells walking around again as soon as he rolls up to his fancy ass penthouse, which is actually like a really sweet looking place.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know what it kind of reminded me of? Like the house from John Wick. Did you see that movie yet?
No, I didn't see that movie yet.
It actually, like, I'm like, I don't know, but like, I feel like it's almost like the same set. Like, I want to
Could
like
be.
look into it to see if it's the same house. But it just reminded me of that house from John Wick. Great fucking movie. But no, yeah. So you see, like, dude, like Dr. Wells has to be a millionaire in the show
Oh yeah, he's got to be fucking loaded.
to have a house like that.
Oh yeah, definitely, and to have his start a fucking giant, massive lab too,
Yeah.
like lab facility, and I mean he's still got to be paying Caitlin and Cisco,
Somewhat. Yeah.
something because they need money to live, obviously. Yeah, he's got a nice place, and we see him briefly use his super speed when the yet revealed Pied Piper causes his glass ceilings to shatter. Except he barely gets anywhere before he just like falls to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Which shows he's losing his control over the negative speed force. So he's kind of like screwed, which probably is why he took the tachyon device to like power himself back up.
Right.
Which actually ends up happening at the end of the episode. He temporarily recharges his speed force. And Pied Piper is a former protege of Wells, who worked with him on the particle accelerator, as we mentioned.
Well, Pied Piper, I think, is smarter than Wells, like, generally.
I think they're intellectual equals
You think so?
because, well, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I guess that maybe he seemed really smart in this episode because they had to show how smart he was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, looking back, when I was watching the episode, I was like, oh wow, he might be smarter than Wells. But you're probably right.
I think Wells probably dumbed it down a little bit, because he's from the future.
Yeah.
He's probably got to know a lot of shit. And I mean, he's been a scientist both in the future and
Being from the future
present.
doesn't always make you super smart.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a scientist in both centuries.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. But yeah, it's undeniable that Hartley is extremely smart.
Right.
Because he was basically like Wells' like number 2, sort of.
Who is number 2 working for?
And yeah, that's so like Hartley and Wells ended up leaving on bad terms because Hartley told Wells, "Hey,
Hartley's not a bad guy.
he's not. He's a douche, but he's not a bad guy."
Yeah, he's kind of. That's the thing. He's kind of like what's his face? Barry Allen's bully. Like
Yeah, I know. What you're talking about.
Yeah. He's not a bad person. Like he doesn't kill anybody. He is kind of just like as Cisco puts it, you can be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
But like he warns him, he's like,
definitely
no,
dick.
you can hurt people. Like,
yeah, he's like,
whoa.
he straight up warned him that this is gonna explode and it's gonna have like it's cause serious fucking problems.
Yeah.
Yet Wells went along with it and didn't work out too well, or did it? But that's why Hartley left Wells, and then he developed the technology that's basically just causing like sonic blasts from these specialized gloves. And you find out that Hartley's deaf, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses hearing aids and stuff. And then they end up catching Hartley, except turns out he pulled a Loki and wanted to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Loki got caught in the Avengers because he wanted to steal information from Star Labs. Because he wanted to use the computer to identify the frequency of Barry's molecules because of how fast they move, so that he can tune his sound to mess with them and end up killing them. which actually ends up happening because Hartley sets a trap for Barry and ends up like the trap ends up shredding some of Barry's organs and like ripping up apart from the inside, which is probably gotta hurt a little bit. And then the other, I mean, like, not a lot of huge things happen in this episode, but the ending of the episode is like 3 big things happen. Joe has Eddie look into and investigate Dr. Wells, who he is, his backstory, and everything.
You sure you want me to investigate him? 100%.
Yeah. Now that Hartley's in the particle accelerator, he tells Cisco he knows where Ronnie is and how to save him. And then at the end, in that secret room, in Dr. Wells' secret laboratory, him and Dexter share, he uses the tachyon technology to recharge his negative Speed Force energy. So, like, the ending of the episode had a lot more important things than the episode overall did. It's not one of the best episodes. The ending of the episode was much better than the episode as a whole.
Yeah, the episode as a whole was kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's coming off after 2 awesome episodes. And it's not a bad episode by any means. It's just like, it's just like, it's an okay episode, but the big things happen at the end. Like the last, 2 minutes, maybe, if that. But a lot of things get set up, so it still was pretty important because a lot of things set up that unfold over the next rest of the season, which is 12 episodes. So, and it's like really, the episode itself isn't, great, but it's still important nonetheless. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I like the guy who played Hartley. He was very much a douche, but I enjoyed seeing him be a douche. Although I didn't like how he was a dick to Cisco because I love Cisco.
Yeah, I like Cisco, man. Cisco's probably one of my favorite characters in the show.
Oh, definitely. He's fucking hysterical. He's like, I said this before, he's us on the show.
Yeah,
basically.
Yes, he is. But also too, like, I'm kind of glad like not every villain is like, like a super villain in the show too. It's kind of having a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, and he wasn't a metahuman.
No, he wasn't.
Which was a big change from what they've been. Not a big change. He's one of the 3 villains that aren't metahumans, like, along with Captain Cold and Heatwave, whereas the rest have been, basically. So it's good that they still incorporate tech-based villains.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just have people with powers every week.
Yeah, no, I mean, because you gotta have somewhat, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like the Flash too, is that like he is, even though he is not right now, he is one of the most powerful people in the DC universe, but like, his villains that don't have powers, they have clever ways. Like they're all either scientists or they're like really tactical. So. But yeah, I mean, it's a good episode so far. There hasn't been a bad episode yet that we've reviewed. I mean, so far this whole season. That's why the reviews for that show have been great. But Pat, is there anything else you can leave off with, or?
No, not really for those 2 episodes. Just the title of it made me think of Dragon Force.
Yeah.
They should have had the opening song and closing song be Dragon Force songs.
It should have been.
Fuck. See, now if we worked on this show, we probably would have thought of that.
We should just do our own show.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do a Ghost Rider show.
No.
Why?
Because we still need a little bit more time, to heal from the negative image of Nicolas Cage. We've got to give it another few years.
Listen, when you have a migraine, do you wait a while to take your Excedrin?
No, but listen, look how long it took for them to try Daredevil again.
But that was due to distribution rights and studio rights.
11 years still.
Okay.
We still got a few more years before Ghost Rider could be tried again.
All right.
So let's leave it like that. But there's still a lot, let's make a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle show. Forget that movie. Let's just make it like a buddy cop.
Oh no, I'm
TV
kind of
series.
excited for the movie.
Oh, I'm extremely excited for the movie. But
All right. Well,
All right. Yeah, that's about it. Over the next couple days, we'll cram more episodes in.
yeah.
So
So again, if you guys want updates more on the show, or if you want to just contact us directly, if you contacted us directly on Twitter, we will probably respond to you. Again, I am at Less Than Connor,
I'm Rick Pat MC.
and follow us. We're probably gonna have an account soon, like a dedicated Awesome Sunday Show account.
Which you all better follow, like, retweet, all that shit. We'll set up a Facebook one too.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Just put it on blast.
What's funny is I just put this together. One of the best bands ever, Taking Back Sunday, has an album called Tell All Your Friends. We have a show called Awesome Sunday Show. We want you to tell your friends.
Exactly.
So next time you're listening, be like, you know what? Taking Back Sunday is an awesome show. Awesome Sunday Show is a great show. Or Taking Back Sunday is a great band. Awesome Sunday Show is a great show. I see the correlation.
Just spread it like that. That's all.
Yeah. Despite how stupid I sound right now, I should still do everything we just said. But yeah, before I make myself look like an idiot more, guys, have a good one and have a happy Sunday.
Yeah. Later, guys.